Get this meeting called to order, Mr. Clerk. Or acting clerk, I should say.
Thank you, Warden. Moved by Councillor Gano, second by Councillor Fraser, that the meeting of the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry be hereby called to order.
Thank you. All in favor? Motion is carried. For the record, just so you know, Kim, I believe, is her first council meeting she's missed since starting her job over here at the county, so it's well deserved. Moving to the adoption of the agenda.
Moved by Councillor Broad, seconded by Councillor Densham, that Council approve the agenda.
Thank you. Any comments on or changes to the agenda? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion's carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Seeing none, moving on to the adoption of our previous minutes. Mr. Clerk.
Moved by Councillor Lang, seconded by Councillor Broad, that the minutes of the council meeting of the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry held June 15th, 2026 be adopted as circulated.
Thank you. Any questions or something? Go ahead, Councillor Lang.
Yeah, just in the first paragraph there was a mention of Warden Lang when it should have been Warden Laundry.
Oh, we missed those days.
Okay, thank you. Is that noted, Mr. Clerk?
That's noted. I can reread the resolution.
I think we're good if the changes have been made. And while we're there, I just thought about the adoption of our agenda that's in the table in front of us. I did notice it mentions the warden's banquet, and it has it down as September 3rd. I believe it's October 3rd. So those changes can be made to this agenda as well. So maybe with that said, I'll get you to reread the motion.
Moved by Councillor Lang, seconded by Councillor Broad, that the minutes of the council meeting of the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry held June 15th, 2026 be adopted as amended.
Thank you. All in favor? Motion's carried. And I would like to welcome, we have a special guest with us today, a delegation. I'd like to welcome Warden Mario Zant from Prescott, from the United Counties of Prescott-Russell, also the Mayor of the City of Clarence-Rockland. Mario, if you want to come up and join us, please. So as Mario is coming up, basically there's a request that came up into looking into a partnership, more of an inter-regional friendship partnership that Mario would like to have discussions with council today. Good morning, Mario. The little face with a squilgo voice. There you go.
Can you hear me okay? Thank you so much, Warden. Members of council, Mr. CAO, and members of the administration, thank you so much for welcoming me here today. It truly is a pleasure to be here. This is my first time here, by the way. This is quite imposing. I'm usually on the same level as everybody else in UCPR, though, so it's great to see how everybody else operates. When I look at SDNG, I don't just see another county. I see a neighbor. And we may have different names on the map, but we do share far more than a border. We are rural communities with proud histories, vibrant towns, and dedicated volunteers, not to mention hardworking businesses and residents who simply want the same things. Safe communities, reliable infrastructure, housing, economic opportunity, and a responsible level of local government. And I could go on, but the challenges we face are remarkably similar. So are the opportunities. Over the years, I've had the privilege of getting to know many of you, some more than others. And every conversation has reinforced something I've come to believe. SDNG and UCPR think alike. We value collaboration over competition. We understand the local government isn't about who gets the credit, it's about getting the job done. And we recognize that no county succeeds in isolation. As many of you know, Prescott-Russell has built a friendship agreement with our neighboring MRCs on the Quebec side. That's the equivalent of a county. We're incredibly proud of that relationship. And together we've strengthened our communication. We've built trust and demonstrated that municipalities on opposite side of provincial borders can accomplish meaningful things. But we've also learned something. That good relationships don't always become great partnerships. The challenge has never been the people, it's always been the provincial border. We have different legislation, different procurement rules, different funding programs, and obviously different administrative frameworks often prevent us from taking that next step. The desire is there, the friendship is there. Unfortunately, the legislative barriers remain. That experience has taught us something pretty valuable. Imagine what could be accomplished by two counties that not only share the same values, but also operate under the same provincial legislation. And that is why I am here today. I believe there is tremendous potential for a formal partnership between the United Counties of Prescott-Russell and the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry. This partnership isn't starting from zero. We've already shown that we can work together, including coordinating road investments that benefit residents on both sides of our shared boundary. Those efforts have demonstrated what's possible when neighboring counties work together for a common goal. And today, I'm simply asking that we build on that success and make collaboration the rule rather the exception. Yes, there are obvious opportunities. Together we can explore joint purchasing that stretches every tax dollar further. We could advocate with a stronger voice on issues affecting rural Ontario at Queen's Park. We could share expertise and policies and best practices. But I believe the real value goes much deeper than that. And I believe the strongest or the greatest strength of this partnership is the ability to learn from one another. In Clarence Rockland, for example, we've implemented an investment policy that allows municipal funds to generate returns that are invested directly back into the communities. We've done so raising millions of dollars from our investments. Those returns help fund the projects, support services, and reduce pressure on taxpayers. It's something that we're very proud of, and we'd be glad to share everything we've learned with you. At the same time, I have absolutely no doubt that SDNG has developed ideas and policies and approaches that could make Prescott-Russell also a better county. It's about recognizing the good ideas that don't belong to one municipality, but rather belong to everyone willing to share in them. We've also looked at opportunities to strengthen how we serve our residents. And right now in Prescott-Russell is studying the possibility of bringing our 8 municipal fire departments together into one single-tier level fire service. The objective is straightforward, and that's to obviously deliver more coordinated services while making the best possible use of our collective resources. And those discussions have been even more important as we prepare for the future. You sure all heard about the Alto high-speed rail project has forced many of us to think about scenarios we hope never happen, but none of us want to imagine a derailment or another major regional emergency. But leadership isn't about hoping that difficult things don't happen. It's just simply being prepared when they do. The strongest response doesn't begin on the day of that emergency, right? It begins years beforehand by building these kinds of relationships, establishing this trust and sharing resources, and knowing that when one county calls, another county is already prepared to answer. In short, we like working with you. We respect the way you approach municipal government. We appreciate the professionalism of your administration and the leadership shown by your council. Quite simply, we see you as friends. And today I'm asking that we take that friendship one step further, because I believe our residents deserve every opportunity we can create together. And years from now, I hope that we'll look back on today and realize this wasn't the day two counties signed another agreement. It was the day that we chose to become true partners. So I want to thank you for your hospitality, your friendship, and the respect you've always shown to Prescott-Russell. I sincerely wish and hope that this is the beginning of a partnership that will strengthen both of our counties and better serve the people who have entrusted us. So thank you so much. I'm open to questions and comments if that's the way this works.
Yes, you do have the opportunity for questions. So what I will start off with, well, first, we just had our Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus up in Kingston on Thursday and Friday, and I'm glad to announce that through Nathan Townsend had resigned due to a job opportunity that he had, so he's removed himself from being an elected official, which removed him. So I'd like to welcome our new vice chair of the board of the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, is Mario, that will hold the position until the end of this term. So it's
Thank you.
good to have some local representation. So
Thank you, Warden.
well done, Mario. So I'll look at questions or any comments that anybody would have in regards to this partnership. Looking at Councillor Broad.
Yeah, thank you, Warden, and thank you, Warden, for being here today. In my 4 years being here and getting to know folks from Prescott Russell at conferences or other events, the Wardens Tournament that you raise a lot of money for your community, I participated in. I think it's great that we continue to build those relationships and build on that. You know, and us at Dundas County have the same thing with Leeds and Grenville to the west. So I think opportunities that arise with all our partners is really good, because it is hard for us to work south. Obviously, we have a border, and to the north, a different province, right? So working together, and I think things that we see at Roma and the difference between that and AMO, how bigger centers, you know, roll the dice versus us, and I think us sticking together and advocating at Queen's Park is a great example of that. So super excited to learn more, do more, and work together.
Thank you. Any other questions? Go ahead, Councillor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Well, it's no secret that I have a fondness for Prescott Russell and the people there. Well, North Glengarry has always had a close relationship due to the fact that, of course, we've shared an MPP for many years, and you know, I don't know that we've collaborated directly. However, we've been good friends for a long time, and I'm always in favor of more collaboration. So looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor William. Go ahead, Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, and through you, Mr. Warden. Thank you for your presentation. Always a pleasure. I do like that you mentioned that LAS, where I'm assuming it's the investment thing, because that does take a lot of effort. So I might reach out to your staff through our staff for that, because we are lucky enough to have healthy reserves in South Glengarry and perhaps something at the counties. But I'd like everybody just to look at that map behind us, because it does say Stormont, Dundas, Prescott, and Russell, and Glengarry. I forgot Glengarry. Stormont, Dundas, Glengarry. So it's interesting to see that map, our old townships. So very fitting that you come with I guess it says here, friendship partnership, because I mean that map shows that we've always kind of been together. So I'd be in favor of looking towards that, and yeah, similar to you, have fond thoughts of Prescott Russell.
Coming from a finance guy, he understands that stuff. Go ahead, Councillor St. Pierre.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you, Warden, for visiting us today. As I think about the 4 years that we've been collectively together and how we've collaborated, our 6 municipalities, I think we've done a great job on collaborating on procurement opportunities. We're collaborating on our fire departments, even more with training with some municipalities. So it only makes sense that we should be extending beyond our borders, especially again where procurement opportunity presents itself. I think we should embrace this. It only makes everybody a lot stronger moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Fraser.
Thank you, Mr. Warden, and welcome, Warden Zanth. Just echoing what has been said, it's been a pleasure to hear your comments and how the future further collaboration that goes on. And I'd just like to mention to you, and I had a chance earlier to talk to your CAO and to Stefan, and we're just talking about the most recent event that took place in, I want to say North Dundas, but it took place in Prescott Russell. It was the Meet Me on Main Street event in the park in Marionville. So the collaboration is started, and Councillor Bergeron and myself, we are quite involved with Prescott Russell, in essence with the Township of Russell. And so I look for bigger and more elaborate events that will take place, and I look forward to seeing you at one of the events in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further question? Councillor Densham.
Thank you, Mr. Warden, and thank you for being here, Mario. We already collaborate through South Nation Conservation Authority with Prescott Russell, and I think Mario said it well. When we share a lot of the same goals, we share a lot of the same attitudes in terms of how we operate in our rural atmosphere. And I agree. I think especially there are many things that are going on. I think about the Conservation Authority consolidation right now, where if we continue to work together and look after the area that we have and the similarities that we have, I think it's nothing but goodness there. So thank you for your presentation, and I support everything that you presented today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further question? Seeing none. So I kind of echo everything that's been said around the table. I think that if we look at the services that we offer and how we offer it, some vary, some are different, and it's not finding out who's doing it right, who's doing it wrong. It's basically coming together and a prime example is our county library, where if we look at SDG, our 15 libraries that are all managed by the county level, where in Prescott Russell, it's all individual municipalities that deal with their libraries. So that's something that, and I mean, the challenge of, and I believe same thing with the OPP. Are you guys separate, each municipality?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Well, Warren, thank you for that. If you allow me to elaborate a little bit. Yeah, the libraries for us is a touchy thing. I can tell you that right now. I'm sure you all went through it when that amalgamation happened. But yeah, the OPP is separated in two counties. Really, it's the Hawkesbury County and the Russell County, and that's how that's split. We did have a brief conversation about moving that to a regional level, and that didn't pan out. But we, you know, in all of our meetings with ministers, and I'm sure you've all been there, you know that the province is looking at more partnerships, right? They just want us to be able to collaborate a little bit more on certain things. And I guess to their detriment, because it's going to make us, you know, speak with a much louder voice when, as I mentioned, when we go to talk about things that really matter to our region. I think, you know, when it comes to us two, we're on the other side of Ottawa. We're kind of always left out a little bit. We're not the ones that are, you know, mainstream, we'll say. Yeah, it's just, you know, this, it doesn't have to be rushed. And I know, you know, to your comments, councillors, you've all said that we're all partnering already on festivals and different things. And I think that's fantastic. What I think we really need to look at is a little bit more in depth of what that could mean, right? And so, you know, let's start having, you know, meetings a few times a year to see if there's any movement on anything, if there's anything that we'd like to start on. It doesn't have to be rushed, obviously. We want to take our time and do it right. But I just wanted to make sure that I reached out and you know, let everyone know that we're ready and able to be able to have those kinds of partnerships. So I want to thank you all for having me this morning.
No, that's well said. And last, one big topic I find is the emergency preparedness and looking at what we go through. But it's all about resources and what possibly neighbors to the north can offer versus. So again, that's a big file that can definitely be talked about. So my view is I appreciate coming up. Every collaboration starts with that first discussion. So I think, and the avenue I think I would like to see is starting off between CAO Parisien, so Stéphane and our CAO here, Jamie. I think that's where it starts. You don't want to go too fast out of different directors starting to. So maybe let's slowly start the ball rolling and seeing if there's an appetite to set up a meeting and just get that going. So with that said, any further last questions? Seeing none. So Mario, I appreciate you coming here. You're more than welcome to stick around and spend. I know it's maybe not you, but I know Stéphane's busy. No, I'm just kidding.
I won't take that personally, Warren.
No, so you have coffee and hands to shake, whereas Stéphane has real work. I know how it works. So,
thank you.
Anyways, no, you're more than welcome to stick around. We do appreciate the delegation, and let's hope that this will take us up to the next level. So,
Perfect.
Thank you very,
thank you so
very
much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, so moving on to action requests. So our financial services, we are looking at our future allocation for OCIF. Sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Clerk.
Moved by Councillor Densham, seconded by Councillor Bergeron, that the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry support the Municipal Finance Officers Association of Ontario, MFOA, request to the Ministry of Infrastructure that the doubling of the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund, OSIF, be made permanent beyond 2026, and that a copy of this resolution of support be sent to the Premier of Ontario, the Minister of Infrastructure, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the Minister of Finance, MPP Nolan Quinn, MPP Stefan Sarazan, and local SCG municipalities.
Perfect. Thank you. Before questions, I will have Rebecca speak to this.
Good morning, Council. So the province doubled OSIF funding for the allocation years of 2021 to 2026 from $200 million to $400 million for those years. But there is no future commitment beyond 2026. So MFOA is looking for Council support through resolution to advocate for the current OSIF funding levels to be maintained for 2027 and beyond. This resolution is also going to be shared with the local municipalities. They'll be bringing it to your councils as well. We have shared it amongst the Treasurers Group, and we're just hoping to see your support with this resolution. It's really important for infrastructure, for growth, and for our budgets that are just ever so struggling. So I would appreciate that this support be passed.
Thank you. Looking for questions? I think go ahead, Councillor Lang.
Thank you. Yeah, there's not, I don't think, too much to add. That we're not going to say that we've got too much money from the province at this point, I don't think. And it would be nice if they would at least be stable and continue it on, and I think gradually increase it over the years.
Thank you. Any other questions? I think it's pretty safe to say often they get where they time a certain funding. Once we start getting it, it's pretty hard to say, okay, now we're done. So I think the consensus is there. I'll bring it to a vote. All in favor? Motion is carried. Thanks, Rebecca. Moving on to our SDG Forest acquisition.
Moved by Councillor St. Pierre, seconded by Councillor Lang, that the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry authorize the Director of Transportation Services to finalize the acquisition and transfer of a 74.5-acre parcel in the Township of South Glengarry to be used as a county forest based on the following terms. 1, payment of $80,000 to the owner. 2, issuance of a charitable receipt in the amount of $205,000 based on the appraised value of the land. And 3, all costs associated with the sale and transfer to be borne by SDG Counties. And that if grant funding is successfully secured, the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry utilize the grant funding to support the acquisition, and that should the grant funding be unsuccessful, staff be authorized to use the Forest Reserve Fund to support the acquisition.
Thank you. I will look at, so we have Cameron and Phil to speak on this. Good morning, gentlemen.
Yeah, good morning, Council. Thank you for the opportunity to present this. Over the past couple of years, I've had the opportunity to meet with Charles McDonald. He's a resident of South Glengarry and owns a large farm there. Over the past couple of years, I've got to know Charles and his woodlot. This truly is a gem of a property. Here you can see the overview map of where this property is located, close to North Lancaster, along Concession Road 4. Charles first called the counties back in 2023 and had the opportunity to walk the woodlot numerous times. And here is an overview of what we're looking at. So the woodlot there is highlighted in green. It's approximately 74.5 acres, and it's absolutely beautiful. If anybody has had the opportunity to visit, Charles has run numerous community tours through there with the Ontario Woodlot Association and has heavily invested in managing his forest. The forest is a mature woodlot and features both upland and lowland hardwood forests, so a great mixture, and is also a candidate ANSI, which is an area of natural and scientific interest for the southern portion of the woodlot. This woodlot has received 2 prior treatments of select cuts by Domtar and is just features absolutely beautiful, unique forest features. As you can see here, sort of some unique tree species for the area, and also just a really unique ecological feature. Charles was interested in a partial donation of this property, which includes $80,000 purchase, with the remaining being a charitable receipt. So an appraisal has been completed on the property. The survey is complete, and Charles is also interested in allowing us to have an easement, an operational easement from the north, from from Concession 4 Road, which will allow vehicular access for staff and contractors. So the donor's intentions were protection of ecological values and assurance of a well-managed forest. Charles and his family have owned this property for over 100 years and wants that legacy to continue on into the future, and that this forest be able to be enjoyed by now and into the future.
Thank you. Any questions? Councillor Lang.
Thank you, Mr. Warden, through you. Very exciting to see this come before us, I think. And if you zoom out on your, as I am right now on our Google Earth pictures and look at the surrounding area, it is north of Baynesville, north of Curry Hill, prime farmland, and most of it is clear. There's very, very little bush left. So it's great to see a little piece of bush that'll be saved in that area for sure, and for many, many years. I think it's a wonderful way to do it, and I think when you look at the deal that we're getting, it's amazing, because if the trees were cleared off that land, it's going to sell for $25,000-$30,000 an acre. So it's nice to keep that. So I'm 100% in favor of this.
Thank you. Any other questions? Go ahead, Councillor Williams.
This sounds like a great opportunity. I'm just curious, how much is in the Forest Reserve Fund?
We have just a little over 133,000.
Any other questions? Seeing none, so I will bring it to a vote. All in favor? Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item 6.4A in regards to the OPA number 29 at 5961 County Road 34. Mr. Clerk? Did I miss one? Sorry, disposable of the wildland fire trailer to the Township of North Glengarry.
Moved by Councillor Fraser, seconded by Councillor Broad, that the Council of United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry receive the report titled Disposal of Wildland Fire Trailer to the Township of North Glengarry, and that Council approve an exemption to the purchasing policy to allow for the disposal of the county's wildland fire trailer to the Township of North Glengarry, and that the Director of Transportation Services be authorized to sign any documents related to the transfer.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but I'll have Cameron just give us a briefing.
Thanks, Warden, and good morning, County Council. So this is a strategic regional resource that the counties purchased back in 2002. So the trailer's, 23 years old. The equipment inside is all firefighting equipment for wildland fires and was used heavily during the Alvin Runnels forest fire last year. There are things like submersible pumps and hose and just extra supplies that our firefighters need to be able to get long distances into forests and properties. And what sort of became a little bit apparent to county staff and firefighters on site was that perhaps we could look at ownership of this asset, because the county's not in the firefighting business. It's tough for us to make sure it's being maintained properly. Right now, the firefighters, or the South Stormont, I believe, is coordinating all of that maintenance on these pumps and making sure the hose is in working order. And so we feel that it's best that we give this resource to our fire departments. It'll still be maintained as a regional resource. And ultimately, there will be MOUs put in place between all the fire departments that will fund the future replacement of it. And so just looking for County Council's endorsement to veer from the purchasing policy and how we dispose of our assets and give it to the township. Next steps would be that it goes to North Glengarry Council for approval. But yeah, so happy to answer any questions. We have spoken with our insurer. They have sort of suggested a couple, and it's outlined in the report, a couple things be put in place if we were to maintain it, but ultimately that disposing of it would limit our liability the most. So happy to answer any questions.
Okay, I'll start before. Is that the trailer that is presently being stored in Newington in South Stormont?
That's correct, yes.
That's correct. Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Councillor McDonald.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Warden, and yeah, we're happy to take it, and we have the storage capacity for it. I believe our council has already passed that we would accept it, and I think it's a resource that we seeing what happened in North Dundas and what we're seeing all around the country right now, and we just really stop pissing off the United States by sending smoke to them. So I think it's a good asset. All that to say is we're also, our fire chief is also planning on doing training on it, just so that, we can do cooperative training for everybody in all the departments, so that wherever it goes, everybody will be ready to use it. So thank you, Mr. Warden.
Thank you. Councillor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Yeah, I do believe that North Glengarry did approve that pending agreement from the 5 other municipalities that they would participate financially. Has that been set up yet?
The MOUs and the cost sharing has not been set up at this point.
Okay.
I think the transfer, or if it's up to county council, we could wait for those to be set up, or we transfer it in faith that they will be set up.
Okay, because that was the agreement, is that all municipalities would be required to contribute financially. Is our county council, has this gone to your councils yet? No? None? Okay. Well,
And if I can suggest, would that information come from, like, I know the fire chiefs throughout all meet, would they be the one to instill what the cost will be, what we're looking for, present that to, and it could come to county council? I'm not sure if that's an avenue that would be easier to but I think we can manage amongst all ourselves, but I'll look for further questions. So Councillor Gaino.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Through you, I'm supportive of the item being provided to North Glengarry to maintain. I'm just curious, did South Stormont staff request that it be removed from the Newington station? I'm just curious.
No, not at this point. This is sort of a joint-led initiative just to explore ownership. The trailer was offered sort of to all townships, and North Glengarry was the one that expressed the most interest in it and maintaining it up at North Glengarry. So it wasn't a specific request to have it removed from the property. It was just we're looking at the ownership model, and yeah. I would also add that, in either scenario, the counties, and we've made it clear to the fire chiefs that they would be required to pay if the county were to maintain it as well. So in any situation, it's going to be sort of a cost-shared asset that all the townships are going to look to help us maintain.
I'll look at Councillor Lang.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Through, I'm in favor of it. I think, and I think we could likely pass this anyway, because basically we're agreeing to an exemption to our purchasing policy so that it can be done. So I think we can do it, and then they can work out the details after. But if it comes to our council, I'd definitely be in favor of supporting it, and I think it would likely go over. And I want to thank North Glengarry for stepping up.
I'll go first to Councillor St. Pierre and then Councillor McDonald.
Yeah, thank you, Warden. Certainly, I am in agreement with the fire trailer as well, and keeping that. I remember, I was actually on the fire department when this trailer got purchased, and it was a county was looking after it. But I think from my perspective, I think this needs to go back to the individual councils to have a fruitful discussion about it. To be quite frank with you, other than reading that it was going to North Glengarry, we weren't aware that discussion had kind of happened. I'd like to get some more facts at our end in terms of our fire chief and our CAO, and to see how this transpired, that it was to be in North Glengarry first, and then I think we can come back. I think in principle, though, certainly I'm in favor of getting it transferred. I'd just like to get a little bit more information on how it ended up in North Glengarry's court, I guess, versus anybody else's. Thank you.
And to Councillor St. Pierre's comment, I was not aware of the discussions were being had as well. So go ahead, Councillor
McDonald.
Apparently we were
were told that the discussions happened at the chiefs meeting, and the decision was made there. When they're talking about financial, a pump is $15,000 to $16,000 change. The financial aspect was like $1,000. I believe what was proposed was $1,000 or $1,500 a year that would just stick in a reserve that would help offset costs from that come in the future. So it's not a great financial risk, but we understand that everything had to go back to other councils for the MOU. I think we just needed to go through this process to make sure that council agreed with passing it on to another municipality, and then it'll go to all the municipalities after this.
Any other question? Seeing none, so as the motion is read, all in favor of the motion? Motion is carried. Anyone against? So motion's carried. Thank you very much. Now going to our planning item of the OPA number 29 at 5961 County Road 34. Mr. Clerk.
Moved by Councillor Gaindon, seconded by Councillor Densham, that the Council of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry refused to adopt official plan amendment number OPA number 29 to the official plan of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry.
Thank you. So welcome. We have Lindsay, and I guess Peter is also here with a mic in hand, so we'll let Lindsay take it away.
All right, thank you, Warden Landry. So official plan amendment number 29 is regarding 5961 County Road 34. This property is located in the township of South Glengarry, and it's located just north of the settlement area of Lancaster. So OPA number 29 has been applied for, and this is to permit a site-specific exception to the agricultural resource land use designation, and this is to accommodate a future transportation depot facility and repair garage, both of which by definition are considered non-agricultural uses by definition in the PPS. And because of this, in the PPS, there's very specific criteria and specific criteria and tests in which these types of proposals are reviewed against in order to for planning authorities to consider. Because of this, under review, staff are recommending that this application be refused by County Council because the PPS test and the criteria are not being met and they're not being consistent with the PPS. This recommendation is also supported by the Township of South Glengarry's Council as they passed a resolution on June 8th recommending that we refuse this application this morning. Thank you.
Okay, so going through the report, I'll look at questions, starting with Councillor Lang.
Thank you, Mr. Warden, and through you. As the public meeting was held in South Glengarry, and we also talked about it at, I think, last council meeting or the one before, I'm not sure, but we are not in favor of it. We definitely are in favor of more development. We understand that we're likely going to see a lot of our development will be in the trucking-related businesses as we are on the 401 and have 4 interchanges, but it's not the spot for it. It's on ag land. There's much better spots, and it didn't fit the thing. So South Glengarry Council was not in favor of this.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, so I'll look for a vote. All in favor of the motion as presented. Motion is carried. Thank you. Moving on to item 8.1, another official plan number 31 with the Sanani pit with Cornwall gravel. Mr. Clerk.
Moved by Councillor Broad, seconded by Councillor Lang, that bylaw 5539 being a bylaw to adopt official plan amendment 31 to the official plan of the United Counties of Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed.
Sorry, looking out for questions. Seeing none, all in favor of that motion. Motion is carried. Thank you, Peter. Moving to our consent agenda.
Moved by Councillor Densham, seconded by Councillor St. Pierre, that all items listed under the consent agenda section of the agenda be received for information purposes.
Thank you. Any questions or comments regarding our consent information? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion is carried. Moving on to board and committees.
Excuse me, Mr. Warden.
Did I forget something?
Oh, sorry. You missed
Oh.
Development Services Action Request about Amendment 31. There's a second one about aquatic habitat along the Allen Creek. There's a second one. Oh, sorry. There's a, sorry? 8.1. Item 8.1, please. Oh. Yes, but there's two of them. One is given granting permission to open the pit. The second one is saying that there's going to be an aquatic habitat along the Allen Creek.
Peter, do you know, does that fall on this, in that same motion?
Through the warden, the motion was for adopting the bylaw, which incorporates both of those. So one, the Schedule A of the bylaw is the amendment to redesignate to the aggregate license pit. The previous request to remove the aquatic habitat was withdrawn by the proponent once the Council of North Dundas passed a resolution that they did not support that. So that will not be changed under that bylaw. That part was removed from the bylaw based on the comments from North Dundas.
Yes.
Go
Can I
ahead.
make a comment on that?
Yes.
Mr. Warden? Okay, so the background on that is that Calvin Pohl, our planner, the Cornwall Gravel has made many, many requests. It's been a long, long process to get this permit. Calvin Pohl has responded to many, many of their items on that application. Here, about the aquatic habitat, he pulled up a map, a Google map of the property dated 2019, which shows a lot of wooded area, forested area along the tributary and along the whole Allen Creek, whereas the 2023 Google map showed that most of that was removed, except for maybe 1/4 of the forest at the east end of the Allen Creek. The Conservation Authority went in at that time and had a look and noted that the tributary had been altered without permit. They also noted that the remaining 1/4 of the forest had butternut trees, which are a protected species. And so that's why North Dundas has requested and obtained that the Allen Creek, which is a waterway, needed to be protected, because in the original application, they asked to be able to extract right up to the creek's edge. And so this is why we've asked to protect at least 30 meters on each side of that waterway.
To make it clear, does that eliminate the concern of Councillor Bergeron when you're saying that it's been removed from the applicant's request? Yes? Okay. Are you satisfied with that, Teresa? Perfect. Thank you very much. So the motion will not change and it's been approved. So now moving on to our boards and committees, starting with my agenda. So I was part of the selection committee for the 2026 Winter Games Legacy Fund along with our CAO. This is in conjunction, it's with the City of Cornwall, where we identify 2 recipients that applied and showed. It was quite a thorough, we were 10, I believe, on the committee, and I really appreciated seeing the format. Now, they took our documentation of how we scored, which I had written the 2 names, so I apologize if I don't have the name, but I will mention the 2 recipients possibly at the next meeting. I then, on that same day, attended the 50th anniversary of Mike Dean's Local Grocers in Chesterville. So that's something, anytime you have one of your business in the community that has been around for 50 years, I think is worth having. All of Eric, I'm not sure if Nolan, but we were all there to recognize that achievement. And it's not just here in, I think where they stand in part of Eastern Ontario and also Western Quebec. So well done on the Dean family. I then had the opportunity to attend the golf tournament for Prescott and Russell. I had the opportunity to golf with Mayor or Councillor McDonald, Broad, myself, and our CAO. And I came out of there with a kayak. So picture this in a kayak. So anybody that wants to go down maybe the Tubies or the Raisin River that wants to borrow, I have a kayak to lend out. So moving on. After that, I was fortunate enough to, my wife took me on a trip across Europe. So I had 2-week vacation out there, which is, I won't go into details, but was well worth it. Coming back, I attended the It's All About the River in Mooresburg, which had different agencies, the RCMPs. We got to ride the boat, but it was on shore, so we just got to stand in it to do our presentation. And but it had the RCMP, the River Institute was there, so and lots of vendors, and it was a beautiful day out for that. Just lately, we had the Eastern Wardens Caucus met in Kingston just this past Thursday and Friday. As mentioned, Nathan Townsend had resigned from his position, and Mayor or Warden Zanth is taking over that role. We did look at, so with AMO coming up, basically it was just prepping. We've so far secured 6 different delegations, so I'll have more in the report once we go to AMO. So we were looking at getting prepped for that, and also the discussions on pushing the urgency for that provincial action on the accuracy for municipal election, for the municipal voters list, where the province transferred it from Impact to, I believe it's Ontario, or Election Ontario. So right now, I think the deadline is August 14th, and we're just seeing that they're aware and they are responding to how good it's going to come out, but hopefully it'll be an improvement from the 2022. Then we had the opportunity to meet with representative from Alto. So they had, I believe, about 5 of their, with a full agenda on different topics from the economics, from the location. So what we can come out of what the questions and concerns were. One was the DNAs that they were looking at us to sign, and we're having issues where why don't we just do a close on specific but have it more broad and more transparent to our communities. So that was discussed. The route is the most important part of the route is right now Montreal, Laval, Ottawa. So this is the first leg of the first project, which they're looking at starting construction in 2029. So November is when the corridor will be identified. Right now, there was a map supplied by the Eastern Caucus showing all our emergency services and the effect of all the dead-end roads that would be created. So it identifies SDNG, a bit different than Prescott-Russell, where they're getting the bulk of that corridor to head to Ottawa. We're not being affected, so our landowners are not going to be expropriated for that purpose. My concern was the vitality or the direction of VIA, where they're going once this train comes. And basically, Alto has been mandated federally to work with VIA, so they're going to be taking charge of scheduling to work of the VIA schedule versus. So it looks promising. They're not seeing that they still need what's so-called the milk run that will hit the Cornwall, Alexander, Brockville, Cobourg, Belleville. So that line hopefully will maintain our residents. Last is now there's a new direction where they've been mandated to look at a possible station in Kingston. So that is now redirected where the administration at Alto are now working towards, which is working towards the second leg. So right now up to Ottawa is what the main focus is, but there's an opportunity that Kingston will be getting a station that might, whether how we look at it, but for the Seaway Valley, the south portion of SDNG, having the service potentially to drive up to Kingston to hop on the high speed, who knows where that's going to take us. So that's sort of the discussions that will be had. I'm sure there's briefing and notes that will come from the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus that potentially will be included in our next addenda on those discussions. And last, we're in fair season. Unfortunately, I missed Maxville, but I attended Avonmore, many coming with South Mountain, Williamstown, the Highland Games. So it is in full fair season. So again, that is the warden on a July note. So moving on to Joint Liaison Committee, I'll look at Councillor McDonald possibly. Did we didn't have any meetings, I don't think. Jamie, anything to...
Next meeting is September 17th, next scheduled meeting, September 17th.
Perfect, thank you. Library Board, I'll look at Councillor Broad.
Yeah, thank you, Warden. We met in the village of South Mountain at the library. So it kicked off early with a book club, and we had a 4-hour strategic plan event. Suzanne Gibson was our facilitator. And we had the full board and all of Rebecca's Lux staff team. So there was about 16 of us, 12, 16 of us all together. And we started to work through all the surveys that we've completed and start to strat plan the next strat plan. So Rebecca and her team will be working on that through the summer into the fall, and we'll get more details on the next strat plan of the library boards or SDG.
Perfect. And I believe we're off for July, August, and back in September. Thank you. Police Board, Mr. Councillor McGillis.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Warden. Yeah, it was a great meeting. First, when we first started our meeting, he introduced us to 5 new recruits, and there was, actually I was surprised when I looked to my left. My nephew was one of the new recruits, and they had a program with the cadets too as well, which is very, very important. It worked well last year, and they're going to continue this program. Also, we talked about the mental health crisis. There was a nice delegation about that, and how important it is, to continue that program, and it continues to actively engage with the most vulnerable members of our community. And they had during his annual report, Mark, our detachment commander, gave a great interview or discussion about the annual report. And part of the summary of commitments was the addressed and reduced rural property of crime in SDG communities. Reduced incidents of human trafficking and human smuggling. I went to a session there. That is very important to continue to advocate the police working hard and the different forces working, because we don't know the gist of it. Cornwall is actually almost a hub of the human trafficking, and it's really sad when you heard all the things that were going on in terms of human trafficking for even males and females. And targeting enforcement for cybercrime also was important. They discussed that, and actually phone scams. Everybody knows about phone scams. And also improving victim support for sexual crimes, as I said earlier. He talked about public trust and reinforcing crime prevention efforts while demonstrating a strong commitment to community service and partnerships. They continue to regularly engage in proactive and high visibility patrols in our most built up neighborhoods and public areas throughout the United Counties. Also enhanced partnerships with local schools and school boards, strengthening the delivery of safety messages related to sexual content and internet safety. The members of SDG Detachment would like to extend their sincere appreciation for the board for its ongoing guidance, trust, and support. This continued partnership has been instrumental in achieving sustained operational success, strengthening service delivery, and advancing shared priorities that benefit the community safety and public confidence. So in 2026 to 2029, SDG Detachment Action Plan is coming forward. This is the first action plan developed under the Community Safety and Policing Act, the CSPA, and they're working closely with the South Stormont, Dundas, and Glengarry Detachment Board and engaging with community members to ensure the needs of the community are reflected. So it was a good meeting, and I'm looking forward to the next one as well. So that's, I think that's all I can add right now. I think who else was there? Anybody else? Did you anything you want to add, Martin?
pretty thorough, Brian, and you covered pretty well everything. The only thing I might mention is that as a board, we would like to be maybe a little more visible. A lot of people don't hardly know we exist even, and we may like to meet our members a little more and get to know them a bit. So we may do something at the Highland Games. We're talking about having a little event at the Highland Games, maybe to get to know our members a little more, because they're almost all of them are there at one point during the weekend.
Got it. He mentioned the auxiliary police officers. It's very important that we thank them for all their work. They don't get paid to do their job. They're there for the community, and and they do bring a lot of good things to the community in terms of trust and engagement. And they're there for all the festivals and things like that. So we thank them for all their hard work.
Thank you, Councillor McGillis. Moving on to with Councillor Williams with the Eastern Ontario Health Unit.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. I don't have a lot here. On June 18th, we had a meeting where the 2025 audited statements were presented, and it was a clean audit. The health unit's busy preparing for the next flu season this fall. Moderna has developed a joint COVID flu vaccine that will be available in 2027. And they're busy implementing the new strategic plan, which is impacting staff morale in a very positive way. So that's good news. Do you have anything to add, Councillor McGillis?
Thank you. Anything to report on the Glenstraw Dunn Lodge, Councillor Broad?
Yeah, we had a meeting in June, kind of three really highlighting piece of information. One, staffing still a challenge, but in good shape overall. The administrator is happy, but they continue to recruit and continue to attract new members of their staff. Capital projects will continue to be a problem and a challenge, and I think that's something that when they present as shared services, that time, that's when SDG should really dig in and ask questions from a capital side and also an operations side when those details come up. But the best news of the meeting was they had an inspection in June, and for the first time in anyone's memory, it was a 100% clean audit from the ministry. So that was really good for that team to have a clean audit in that area. So they're really happy about that.
Yeah, usually they like to find anything just to put it on paper. Moving to the St. Lawrence River Institute, Councillor Gaindo, nothing to report. Raising the South Nation Source Water Protection Committee, Councillor Bergeron.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Warden. We haven't had a meeting, but I just have an announcement to make that Alison McDonald has been appointed Project Executive for the Eastern Lake Ontario Regional Conservation Authority, which is a conservation authority from east of Toronto to Brockville, and that she will ultimately serve as its inaugural CAO. Summer Casclain Robertson, she was appointed Project Executive for our region, the St. Lawrence Regional Conservation Authority.
That's good to know. That's Allison being one of my councillors in North Stormont. So I will move to the municipal advisory. Sorry, Councillor McGillis, did you have something to add?
Yeah, it would be nice if the SDG, through you, would send a letter to her and congratulate her, and maybe sign it. And it's great to have a voice from our area to speak on behalf of all the conservation issues that's going on here, and what's went on in the past and what's going to happen in the future. So I'm happy about her. I'm happy about her being there.
Yep, and that would be valid. So a good point taken, and possibly Peter, you can just jot that down. The fact that we will have our representation here, but also I believe that's the neighboring municipality to the west of us. So that would be good to look after the region basically of Eastern Ontario. So with that said, moving on to Councillor Fraser, anything to add? I don't believe. Have you had anything? In 7 years so far that you've been?
No,
So-
I haven't, Mr. Warden, but since you're prodding, and to listen to the comment from Councillor Broad about Glen Store Dun Lodge, I just thought it'd be opportune for me to mention that everything is moving at the scheduled pace for Dundas Manor. Looking forward to a fall opening, and I guess it'd be an early invitation. Details to follow, because I know there's been lots of effort and commitment from this council to ensure that that moves ahead. So I don't have anything to add about the land claim portfolio, but just wanted to add about that, about the long-term care in North Dundas. Thank you.
There's two ways to look at it. It's either you're doing a hell of a job or you're just not doing nothing at all. So, no, with that comment, do they have an official estimated time for the grand opening of the Dundas Manor? I'm just curious.
The most recent information that I have, which isn't that recent, it is the fall of 2026,
Okay.
which is close.
And I believe
I'm sorry to interrupt, but they're doing. I think we both got some information just recently, and but without a date, but with progress inside, and the kitchen is being readied, is almost done, and the description of the facility is what we receive, but the best I have is the fall.
No, good to know. And I believe chatting with our CAO, you had the opportunity to visit Maxwell Manor, and on that same thing where we're seeing both of them evolving, and it's nice to see that coming to fruition. So, Councillor Broad.
Yeah, just since we're out of order kind of on this point, thanks, Clerk, for that. But I'm going to add on. To Councillor Fraser's comments about the opening. The committee from the Dundas Manor have been working with folks and myself at Ross Video on how to have hundreds, if not thousands, of people visit, tour. How do we set up an opening and all that? So that's all in process, and they've been working on that for over 2 years now. We've met them with a few times with our team at Ross Video to help them through badging, security, all those type of things that we had thought about when we did Ross Video opening. So just things are in process for sure.
Good. A little off track, but it's always good information. Going to Regional Incentive Programs Committee, I don't believe that we're at a standstill. The Rural Education Committee, Councillor St. Pierre, nothing to report. SDG Forest Working Group, Councillor Lang.
No meeting, but the Forest Working Group, I'm sure, will be thrilled of our earlier decision to take on the Forest Charlie McDonald.
Thank you. Borders Mayors Alliance, Councillor Broad.
Just stating a couple of offices, since Jamie McDonald mentioned obviously wildfire smoke is a concern. The Gordie Howe Bridge is finally opening, so that was something with the Mayor Windsor and Drew Dilkins and the leader of the group. We're finally getting that bridge open. And if you didn't read, Mexico have just recently said that there's no deal with the USA without Canada, right? So there's no side deal. So CUSMA will continue to be negotiated and worked on going forward. So more to come years from now.
Yep, thank you. And last, Conservation Authority Transition Committee, Councillor Gaindill.
Thank you, Mr. Warden. Through you, Councillor Bergeron covered it mostly for me already, that they've announced the PEs. I'll just note that the start date for those individuals is July 27th, so we expect to have the first meeting of the transition committees early to mid-August.
Thank you. All right, moving on to our key information. Rebecca, in regards to dates to our 2027 budget meeting dates. Because of the fact that we're coming into an odd time with elections and new term, there'll be maybe more consideration to be looked at. So go ahead, Rebecca.
So it's that time of year again. This happens once every 4 years in an election year where it gets a little bit difficult to accommodate budget dates. But there is benefits to an early budget. When we complete an early budget, it does give us the advantage of going to early tendering, which does have financial benefits. Later budgeting, like in January, early February, does give benefits to knowing our previous year actuals, having more readily available information to fund our budgets, funding opportunities, shared services, those kinds of things. So I'm looking for direction from council on what they would like to see in terms of when we could start presenting our budget. I have outlined some dates just for discussion, being that it's an election year. The election is in October. We'll likely have a council orientation in November. inauguration early December. Our first council meeting is only December 21st, so we have possibly the week of December 14th if council's interested in doing an early budget, or following the council meeting on the 21st, or in January of 2027 is also something that is also available. So whatever council would like to discuss is great.
I will look for questions. My opinion, I feel we're looking at a 3-week difference between if we do have it on December 14th versus mid-January. I just feel that when you're coming up to the 14th, especially, there might be new people at the table. It's going to be a lot to take and get to. So I feel with the Christmas holidays, some people kind of have some downtime that potentially I prefer the mid-January, but I will look around the table and take questions. Go ahead, Councillor Lang.
Thank you, Mr. Warden, through you. I'm mulling over what you said as but I see your point. I always like the earliest budget we can do, just because I think it really gives staff that time to get on to things and get moving forward. I'm not really sure when councillors are sworn in. I think, do you remember?
The week of November 14th.
November 14th, 15th? So it gives us some time then. Okay. Yeah, I'd be more interested in the December one then. And I know there's likely quite a few of us might take a holiday in January. Sometimes we go south for a little bit there.
For the record, I'm on holidays from the 14th to the 21st of December. So, just kidding. Go ahead, Councillor McDonald.
Thank you. I'm of two minds, and half of it is something you said 4 years ago. So earlier is better for tenders, and it's the biggest thing that we have is our roads. So like I'm in favor of that way. But if I may put this to you, Councillor Lang, and through you, Mr. Warden, would be that first meeting we had. I remember we passed our 4-year roads program, and we, being new on county council, we had that feeling that like all of a sudden we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars over a certain amount of time. That would be the only thing that I'm a little bit reluctant to for the new councillors, is because they're going to come and adopt essentially a 4-year plan before they've even had a meeting. Maybe a committee of the whole just on roads before that. Maybe that's one meeting too many, but it was one thing that maybe not for the experienced councillors, not something to think about, but for the new councillors that will potentially be coming in, having that roads plan, like it's great. It's just, it was a lot before you really get your feet wet. I don't know if I may put through you, if you have any thoughts on that, if you've changed your mind on that.
Any other comments or recommendation? Oh, go ahead.
Thank you. If the choice is mine, I'd prefer following the meeting on the 21st and then follow and finish on the 22nd. We'll be here. It's not an extra. It is an extra day because it'll be the 22nd, I'm sure. But I would imagine the meeting on the 21st would probably be a shorter meeting, not inundated with all kinds of action requests and delegations maybe, but that's my preference. But I'm open to whatever suggestion the majority has.
Looking around the table, any others? So that's an option, right, Rebecca? Is that something that would be working? Any additional comments to? Go ahead, Councillor McDonald.
Just to the other Councillor McDonald's point, you know, he is correct in saying that it's a lot to catch up on, and I don't think it needs to be mid-January. I think we could do it first week of January, you know, at the earliest possible, and try and get it passed, because it can be a jump for new councillors to take in.
Sure. Go ahead, Councillor Lang.
That sounds fine to me if it was early January. I'm just wondering if that works for staff, though. Staff will be off between Christmas. Like, they would almost have to have the package to us before the Christmas holidays sort of thing, have everything out there so we could go over that ahead of time. Is that, I don't know if that's doable.
And I would agree, like for staff, it would be directed at the earlier portion. Is just, I remember my first budget, you always want to kind of go over everything. It's a new thing. And to have it where they've been sworn in, they haven't even had a meeting. They come and sit here, and then we're asked to do a 4-year plan and look at our yearly budget for 2027 is. So if you have a bit of time over the holidays, just to give more time is my opinion. So one last look around the table. Go ahead, Councillor St. Pierre.
share.
Yeah, thank you, Warden. And just talking quietly here with Councillor Broad, we're okay with January as well. I think when you think about some of the tenders that go out, these are readily made tenders, probably cookie cutter tenders to begin with in terms of the roads and procurement of vehicles and whatnot. So unless there's something special, I don't think an extra couple of weeks is really going to hinder us in getting good pricing. So we'd be okay with the first week of January.
So if we were to have as early as possible in January, and then possibly look at, when is our January meeting? Do we have, any staff have a calendar to give us that date?
It looks like it would be January 18th.
18th. I'm just looking, I don't know if that gives enough time to try to ratify on the 18th, so that way it's, or if we fall into February, but did you want to comment, Rebecca?
I would definitely have the budget document to you before we leave for the Christmas break. Our intention as staff is still to provide, get all the information accumulated, get the agenda out, and the document readily available to you before we leave for the Christmas break, so that by the time we come back, the 18th is the council meeting. The week of the 11th, the 4th or the 11th prior to council is fine as well. That's completely fine. And then we could possibly pass the bylaws on the 18th.
That would work. Councillor Lang?
Roma's in there somewhere. It might be.
Usually it's late January.
Yeah.
So if we're on the 18th, is Roma the week before, or is it only the week after?
Can I make a comment, Mr.?
Sorry?
The date hasn't officially been announced yet, right? According to their website.
So as we're discussing that, maybe you want to add something, Councillor McDonald?
Well, just, when we're talking about tendering, I mean, we tender for the same items every year. If there's a bridge or something that we can get out early for tender, you can bring it to council prior to the budget, and we can pre-approve some of these things. We know that they're coming, and there's no way around it. So if we can get out early on some of the tenders, I think that we can do it that way.
Fair point. Okay, so Rebecca, I'll let you phrase it the way you want to phrase it for guidance.
Being that we aren't aware of the Roma dates yet, I don't mind bringing another report back when we have more dates with something solid in January, and then we could pick from a few dates once we know when Roma is, and then it'll just make it easier for everybody to plan, possibly. Now that we know it's in January, I can bring something back.
Just for consensus, can I show, is everybody comfortable with having it early January for our first deliberation? So take it from that, build up, and maybe bring back at the August meeting for final dates. Thank you very much. Okay. Moving on to our draft terms of reference in regards to the SDG Agricultural Advisory Committee. I'll get Jamie to speak on this.
Yes, thank you, Warden Landry. As Council is aware, we have been working on a draft set of terms of reference for a Agricultural Advisory Committee. We're proposing a draft here this morning, just seeking comments from councillors. We'll bring back a draft or a set of terms of reference for the committee for approval at a future council meeting. We tried to keep the terms of reference rather high level. We're proposing a 6-member committee consisting of 3 county councillors as well as 3 representatives from the Agricultural Committee, with preference given to a representative from each of the 3 counties, and proposing a minimum of 2 meetings per year. I'm happy to answer any questions councillors may have.
Any questions? Go ahead, Councillor Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Ward. Not really a question, but just a comment. I'm just happy to see this in front of us today, and that this committee is being formed. And I think the terms of reference are quite adequate. Good that they're at a high level, so that there's some flexibility there. So And the membership looks perfect. Thank you.
And if I can just add, with respect to the people looking at, so we're going to have 3 members of council sit and 3 lay persons. So I think it's mentioned in there that we have lay people from 3 representing 3 counties. It's also a possibility that we could do the same with our members of council. That way there's a good representation for all 3 counties to have kind of a known representatives. So with that said, anything to add in regards to your administrative update? It's all in there. So did you want to add to that, Jamie, or just take questions?
I believe a number of the events were sort of previously covered in your report, so I'm happy to just take questions, I suppose.
Take any questions in regards to our CEO's administrative duties? Seeing none, I believe we will be looking at heading into a closed session, so I'll move to go into close and then maybe take 5 minutes to clear the room, and then we'll go into close. So, Mr. Clerk.
Moved by Councillor Bergeron, seconded by Councillor Broad, that council proceed in camera pursuant to Section 239(2)D of the Municipal Act, 2001, labor relations or employee negotiations for a labor relations matter.
Thank you. All in favor? Motion is carried. We can have the motion to get out of close, Mr. Clerk.
Moved by Councillor Densham, seconded by Councillor St. Pierre, that council rise and reconvene in open session without reporting.
Thank you. All in favor? Motion's carried. Can I have the ratification bylaw, please?
Moved by Councillor Broad, seconded by Councillor St. Pierre, that bylaw 5540, being a bylaw to adopt, confirm, and ratify matters dealt with by resolution, be read and passed in open council, signed and sealed.
Thank you. All in favor? Motion's carried. And last, our adjournment, please.
Moved by Councillor Bergeron, seconded by Councillor Broad, that council adjourn to the call of the chair.
Thank you. All in favor? Motion is carried. Thank you very much.